The handstand is such a fun movement to learn, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a step-by-step guide on how to get to that point. Let's go. It's silly to try to jump to learning a handstand right away because that can cause injury, whereas rather we should learn and master the progressions that can get you to that point. You should know that learning a handstand, it takes a lot of shoulder strength, a lot of wrist mobility, and a lot of coordination overall. This is why mastering each movement and taking your time in each single progression is going to be so key. The first exercise you're going to want to master is the pike hold. Start out in a push-up position and walk your hands towards your feet. Now from here, you're in this downward dog form. Notice how my hips are aligned with my heels and my hips are also aligned with my head. You want to hold this position for at least 10 to 20 seconds, or I would say as long as you can until you start to fatigue. Start to master this because this exercise alone is going to build your overall shoulder strength. And you should notice that with your shoulders, you should actively push them down and away, keeping your arms straight. Something that helped me a lot over time is actually just leaning more into my hands and getting up on top of my toes, because this is rewiring my brain into that formation of already starting a handstand. From this point, we should actually challenge ourselves on the next progression, which is an elevated pike hold. Once you are comfortable with holding the pike hold on the ground and you master that completely, elevate the surface of your feet. You can find a bench or some box to prop your feet onto. Now what we're doing is strengthening our shoulders even more. In this position, again, make sure you're pushing your shoulders away and down and also keeping your fingertips spread and wide. You should be able to master this position until fatigue or about 20 seconds. Now for the next progression, which I think is the best way to practice and learn a handstand, which is against the wall. So now we're going against the wall. We're going to do an exercise known as wall walks. Starting in a push-up position, you're going to first step one foot back onto the wall as you are walking your hands towards the wall. You want to get as close as you can with your stomach to the wall. What you're doing in this position is, again, actively pushing your shoulders down away from your body, because now we're trying to get that perfect form, perfect strict form to hold the actual handstand. It's very key in this position that you keep your toes pointed, as that's going to help with your overall balance, keeping your core engaged, and also lengthening your arms as much as you can. If you start to fatigue and fall, get off, because eventually you're going to fatigue anyways and your arms are going to collapse. So keep your arms as strict as possible. Get comfortable with walking back down the wall and walking back up for at least 3 times and holding the position against the wall for at least 15 to 20 seconds. Now from the wall walks, getting that stomach to the wall, you can get to the next progression, which is kicking up into the air against the wall. This is going to start to eliminate that fear of getting up into the air. What you're going to do is start out in a runner lunge position, and whatever foot that you decide to put forward is going to be that foot that you kick up into the air with your body. Make sure you're being very gentle here when you're kicking up against the wall, because you don't want to just smash your body against that wall, because it's going to mess up your whole entire balance and your whole entire coordination. Once you're up into this position, you're going to want to pick a focal point to focus on. When you kick up, your body's going to make a triangle. So your head is going to look at one focal point in front of you while your hands are by your side. That's forming a triangle formation. So pick one thing to focus on. In this position, you're going to notice that your body kind of curves into this banana formation, and we want to avoid this. Personally, I struggle with this time and time again when doing free handstands, getting into this banana formation, and here and there I tend to still do it. But here's how we can start to train that and fix it. What we want to do is, when you come up to the wall, stomach to wall handstand, you can practice actively rotating your hips. So all you're doing is think of yourself kind of squeezing your bum and even pointing your toes and engaging your core. That's why pointing your toes and engaging your core and squeezing your bum all simultaneously will help you rotate those hips underneath. Now here's the fun part. In the kick-up position, we actually get to practice free handstands. And how we're gonna do this is literally by using our hands. It's crazy because as you learn the handstand over time, you'll realize how important your hands are. So what you're gonna do, and you can do this on the ground. As you get on the ground, practice squeezing your fingertips in like you're squeezing a ball. And what this is gonna do, it's gonna help you get off the wall. It's gonna bring your feet off the wall. And as you fall back, you're gonna wanna push your palms into the ground, and this is going to bring your feet closer to the wall. So basically it's a battle back and forth. So squeezing your fingertips, pushing your palms into the ground, doing this back and forth is gonna help you keep that balance and trying to focus on that focal point of keeping that straight body into a handstand. So practice this over time. And to dismount from any handstand, I highly recommend two ways. You can either first fall back onto your feet, or two, you can kick your hips out to the side, putting one arm out in front of you and then falling to your side, making sure you have that balance with that one arm out in front of you. And now going from the next point of practicing your free handstand with no guidance of the wall, you can do three things. You can still use the guidance of the wall, just stand a little closer from it and then practice kicking up into a free handstand. But if you do fall forward, you still have the wall. Number two, you can just train in the grass. So if you fall, then you're only falling on something more soft rather than falling on a hard concrete surface. And number three, if you have someone to guide you for this, I highly recommend that you do, because then you have a trainer with you, you have someone to motivate you and also give you some tips and just to keep you there in alignment. And before I go, I want to share two underrated tips that are so key when training handstands. Number one is breath. Breath control is everything, I'm telling you. I know your hands are probably the most important, but your breath is just as important. While you go through the progressions, mastering each one, I want you to take in consideration of how you're breathing. Do some diaphragmatic breathing, breathing deeply into your stomach and exhaling deeply from your stomach. Doing this over time will help you bring total body control with yourself, so when you get up to that handstand, you're gonna feel confident. Number two, I highly recommend you do some grip or mobility training. You're gonna find that your flexibility might not be as great to get to the handstand, and that your forearm and grip strength to even hold the handstand is kind of weak. So what you can do to combine both of these is a pull-up bar hang. And what you're gonna do is get up into the pull-up bar, come into a hollow body formation where your legs are out in front of you, you're activating your core, and you're pushing your shoulders blades down, your scapulas are down, and you're just gonna hang here. So you're kind of practicing this mobility formation, and also you're training your grip and your core all in one. Thank you all so much for watching the walkthrough of this video. I hope it brought you some guidance and some help on your handstand journey. And let me know in the comments below, how far even are you on your handstand journey? I'll get back to you. And throw this video a like so it can reach more people and they can know how to get their first handstand. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button, because we are dropping more fire content, fire tutorials, and fire workouts. Much love. God bless you all. Peace. The sponsor of this video is my wrist. Took a lot of damage in the making of this film. Drop a like for the wrist.